Good evening, students. Welcome back to add-on course on structured query language SQL. It is a BDA club activity that we are conducting this add-on course, and it is mandatory for all the first year students. In our previous session, I have shown you the installation of Oracle SQL environment, how we can download the backup file, the lightweight backup file from the internet, and how we can install that backup file into our computer, and the rest of the configurations like creating a user into that database and how we can connect to that user. All these things we discussed in detail, and we have also seen how we can create a table inside the database using create table command. And after that, we have done the insertion of few rows as well into that table. And moreover, we have also seen how to retrieve the content from the table. Okay, and we have also discussed the standard SQL commands like your DML, data manipulation, DDL, data definition, DCL, data control, and DQL, data query language. Data definition language commands, data manipulation language commands, data control language commands, and data query language commands. All these commands I have listed out, and I have given why, what is the purpose of using those commands as well. So quickly we go to that slide and we see, yeah, these things. Okay, SQL commands, we said there are some standard commands like create, alter, select, insert, update, delete, and drop. So these commands, based on their behavior, we said they are classified into four groups: DDL, DML, DCL, and DQL. So DDL, data definition language commands, your create command, your delete, your alter, your drop, these three commands come under data definition language commands. Then we also have data manipulation language, that is insert, update, and delete. So inside a table, whatever records we are having, to manipulate those records, to insert records, update records, create records, delete records, we use these insert, update, and delete commands. So they are data manipulation commands. Then data control. Okay, apart from these two, we also have two another commands like commit and rollback, that when it comes in our discussion we discuss. Hopefully in today's session only we'll complete those two as well. So what other things, like we have commit command as well as rollback command. Okay, roll back, commit and rollback command, these two commands also we will see in today's session only, and they are also part of your data control language, DCL. Okay, they are also part of your data control language. So we have grant, revoke, as well as commit and rollback. These four commands we have as part of your data control language. And finally, the data query, we have only one command, that is select command. To retrieve the data from the database or to retrieve the records from a table, from one or more table, we use this select query or select command. Okay, so then RDBMS concepts we discussed, like relational RDBMS, we said relational database management systems. Then we discussed a relation is nothing but a table, a record is nothing but a row, field is nothing but a column. Okay, we also call these columns as tuples. Okay, so these concepts we discussed. So over here you can see, yeah, table is nothing but your relation, attributes, fields are nothing but your columns, and tuples, records, rows are nothing but your rows only. Okay, we call tuples as well, and we call them records as well. Okay, just the synonyms, just the different names based on the type of database management system you are using. They use a different type of terminology, because as we are learning a standardized version of SQL, okay, a structured query language, so we have to understand and we have to know the meaning of all. So that is the reason why I'm giving multiple terms in our terminology. So relation, table, both are same. Okay, whenever I'm saying a relation or whenever I'm saying a table, both will represent the same thing, that is a table only. Then attribute, property, field, column. These four will represent your columns only. Okay, attribute, they sometimes call it as attributes, they sometimes call it as fields of a relation, they sometimes call it as a what we call properties of a relation, they sometimes call it as a column. Okay, column of a table. So likewise you can remember. Okay, fields, attributes, properties, columns, all will represent columns in your table only. Then we have tuples, records. Tuples and records are nothing but your rows inside a table. Okay, rows inside a table. So basically what we have inside a table, in the sense we are going to have the columns and rows and the intersecting point. Whenever a column, a row, a particular column and a particular row is intersecting, at that point you can put some value, isn't it? You can put some data inside your table. So in that way we are maintaining the data inside your table. Okay, so creating a table, we said we use create table command. Already we have created one table with name employee, emp, isn't it? The following example whatever I'm showing over here, for this create table command, the same table I have created in my database. Okay, so quickly we go to the SQL and we see whether it is existing or not. So how we can connect to our database, or how we can connect to our user, in the sense simply use connect command. Okay, connect, hit the enter key. It is asking me to enter the username. So my username, as I said, this one. Then my password, as I said. Okay, like this we got connected to the database. Now you select star from tab to list all the tables in my current user. So I have only one table, that is employee. Okay, that is employee. So I have created my employee table with all these fields. Okay, so the next thing is description, or describing a table. Describing a table. So that describing, see, we use in order to, yeah, I mean, how many fields we have inside a table. Okay, over here when you are saying select star from tab, it is listing only the name of the table. It is not giving the internal content, isn't it? It is not giving the internal content. Inside a table we may have the number of columns, isn't it? The number of columns. So what column categories I have, I mean what data types I have for my specific columns, and how much length each column is of, all those things it is not listing over here. Your select star from tab command, it is not listing over here. So what I have to do, I have to describe this table. I have to describe this table to know the internal content, or to know the data structure of this particular table. I mean, what columns I have, what fields I have, and what how much length of each field I have. To know all those things, I have to describe this table. So for that purpose, what we are using this describe command in SQL. SQL describe command. In short, we use only the first four letters of your command. That is first four letters inside describe. So that is desk, D-E-S-K. Okay, desk command. Describe. So in short, we use only desk. In SQL, describe or desk, DESC, both are equivalent. So you can use describe, or you can use only the four letters. Likewise for connection also, whenever you are connecting to a particular user, so what we are typing CONNECT, isn't it? We are typing this much. So instead of typing the whole command, you can type CONN. That's it. This will also give the same meaning. Both are same. Connect as well as CONN. Both are same. So here also typing the complete command describe, or typing the first four letter DESC is also same. Both are equivalent. The desk is the short form of describe command and used to display the information about the table. So for what purpose we are using? To show the information about the table, we are using this desk command, like column names and constraints. So very soon we are going to discuss about these constraints as well. To know the column names as well as to know the constraints on a column, we use this describe command. So the syntax, if you see, simply type desk followed by the table name. We are typing desk followed by the table name, or else, yeah, here you can see the example, desk followed by employee. So what it will do, it will describe this employee table over here. It will describe this employee table. Describing in the sense how many fields I have inside my table. Fields are nothing but columns. How many columns I have inside my table, and what is the data type of each column, and how much length information I can store into that particular field. All those things it will list. So quickly we go and we demonstrate this describe command into your SQL. So I have opened my SQL. So over here what I have to do, simply I want to describe this employee table. So type the command DESC, describe, followed by the table name EMP. That's it. Describe followed by table name and put the semicolon at the end. Hit the enter key. So over here, as you can see, it is describing the complete table information. What fields I have, what field names I have. So I have EID, I have ENAME, I have EAGE, I have ESalary. Like 4 fields I have into that one. And the data type of every field, it is listing over here, describing over here. EID is of number of 6. Number of 6 in the sense up to 6 digits you can store into that EID. Okay, ENAME up to 20 characters. It is of varchar. In the sense it will take both numerics as well as characters. EAGE, number of 4, so up to 4 digits. EAGE you can store. ESalary, number of 8, up to 8-digit salary you can store into that ESAL field. So likewise we have. So this is about the describe command, and it is one of the important command. Many times we use this describe command whenever we want to know what exactly we have inside the table, what exact fields we have inside a table. To know that one, we use this describe command. Hopefully you understood. So go to the next one, that is deleting a table. Okay, deleting a table, yeah, simply either we have to use drop table command. Here we have to use drop table. Deleting in the sense the complete structure it will delete from the table. There are 2 types of delete operations we can perform. One, deleting the internal rows of a table. Okay, deleting the internal rows, that means it will not delete the structure. The definition will remain. Only the internal content will be deleted. So if you see the table over here, I will go to the slide and I will show you. Here we have a table, a simple table, as you can see. See the structure in the sense, the definition, the column names, and the column types, okay, how much length the column will take, all those things we call it as a structure of a table. Okay, structure of a table. So with, yeah, we can delete the structure also. To do that one, we use drop command. So drop command, what it will do, it will delete the structure. Okay, the complete structure as well as the internal content. Both the things it will delete. And there is another delete operation we can perform to delete the individual rows. To delete the individual rows, or to delete all the rows from your table. The structure will be intact, only the internal content we can delete. So that we call it as, okay, these things we call it as the contents of the table. Contents of table. So to delete the contents of the table, we use simple delete command. Okay, this also we discuss in today's class. So deleting the deleting the complete structure, we use drop command, and deleting the internal content, we use the delete command. So these 2 things you have to remember. Deleting the total structure, complete structure, we use drop command, and deleting the internal content, we use delete command. Okay, so when we do the practice, you will understand this clearly. So creating a table, describing a table, and deleting a table is also over. So for your understanding, I will delete this table and once again I will create, no issues. So deleting employee, what command I have to use? So I have to demonstrate this drop command. So that is the reason why I am deleting the table employee. So already I have a table with name EMP. So that EMP table I am deleting now. EMP, I have a table. So this table, how I am deleting? Simply use drop table employee. Okay, drop table employee. But before deleting, I'm just checking whether it is having any content or not. Okay, select star from EMP. Okay, it is not having any rows, so I will insert one row and then I will try to drop. Okay, so what command? Insert into table name EMP values. Okay, or else you can put the fields also over here. Employee fields like EID I want to enter, ENAME I want to enter, then EAGE I want to enter, then ESalary also I want to enter. Okay, about this will come, about this insert command we need to discuss one more time. I mean, throughout this session, many times we discuss about this insert command, because this insert command, it is having many different formats. So in one shot I cannot give the complete explanation about a particular command. So what I do, every time I will take a particular command and we will discuss a particular format of that command. We'll not discuss the complete information about a single command in one shot. Slowly we will grow, slowly we will feed. Okay, so yeah, this is the way to insert the fields, I mean insert the rows inside your table. So insert into employee followed by the fields and values of eid I want like 1001, then ename I want like John, then e-age I'm on like 35, and then e-sal I want like let us say 25,000. Okay, so then close this one and put the semicolon at the end and hit the enter key. So one row created. Okay, so now one row created. So again select star from emp. Okay, select star from emp, then hit the enter key. So it is showing that entry to me. It is showing that entry to me, and that entry is 1001. The employee name is John and his age is 35 years and his salary is 25,000. So likewise we got the employee information. So now I try, because a table with a row, now I want to drop this table, the complete information, the structure and all I want to delete. So drop table command we are using, as we are discussing over here. Drop table followed by the table name, drop table emp will delete the complete information inside the table, as well as let me just commit something over here. About this commit command we will very soon discuss. Commit command, so commit complete. So select star from emp, it is showing. So then what we have to do, yes, drop table emp, at the end put the semicolon and hit the enter key. Table dropped. Okay, table drop. Now I mean inside my current user, that is ISL CSE 001, I have created only one table, that is with name emp. Now I have dropped the table, I have deleted the table, I have removed the table from my username, from my database. So does this table exist anymore? Simply go and check, select star from tab. It is not listing over here. Again you try to describe the table, table does not, object employee does not exist. Okay, we are getting error whenever we are trying to describe that without the creation, it is showing me an error. So what I have to do, again I have to create the table to insert the data and to do the manipulation. See this deletion of a particular table, only this time I'm showing, in future I'm not going to show it, because whatever data entry we are doing, that I don't want to do again and again. So that is the reason why you just make yourself comfortable with this command, deleting a table. Drop command we are using, drop table, table name. What it will do, it will delete not only the internal content of the table but also the structure, definition of the table, everything it will delete. Okay, everything it will delete. Simply zero trace we are going to have after drop command of a particular table. Okay, zero trace, no trace we are going to have. Hopefully you understood. So the next thing what we have to discuss, yeah, we'll quickly go and we'll quickly create the table once again, and we will do the data entry once again, and we'll describe the table once again for you. So all these command, create table and SQL describe command, again I will show you. Okay, again I will show you. So I'm going to the SQL command prompt and I'm create table employee. Okay, create table employee. Next we have to give the field names, EID. Okay, number of, okay, how much we said, number of 6 we said, right? Okay, number of 6, then comma, ename, varchar of some 20 we said, then EH. Okay, EH, again number we took, number of 4 we said, then E-salary. E-salary, what is that? Number of some 8, up to 8 digit salary we said, right? So again you close one. Why we are closing one more parenthesis means you can count the parenthesis, how many we opened and how many we closed. Here 1 we opened, 2 we opened, so 1 we closed, still second one, I mean this one is open. Okay, still this one is open. Okay, we open this over here, closed this over here, still this one is open, opened, closed, still it is open, open, closed, still this is open. Okay, here also open, closed, still this open, so we closed that one over here. Okay, just to match the parenthesis, how we do in your mathematics, just to match all the parentheses, we have to take care of that one. We have to be cautious. If you don't close the parenthesis properly, you will get issues in your coding. Okay, you will get issues in your queries. So closing the proper opening, whenever you are opening a particular parenthesis, closing that parenthesis at the right location is also important. Okay, so now I have closed all my parentheses, so I'm keeping a semicolon at the end. So when I'm hitting the enter key, yes, it is table, spelling mistake, you can see over here, table, table, not tabel. So table, table, create table employee with all these fields. So now the table got created. Again you go select star from tab, we can see the table employee over here. Again, to know the description about the table, okay, to describe the table, disk followed by the table name emp. Okay, now it is listing all, you can see eid number 6, varchar 20, number 4 and number 8 likewise. Okay, so this is creating a table, describing a table, deleting a table. Three things we discussed: creating a table with create table command, describing a table, describe followed by the table name, desk followed by the table name, then dropping a table or deleting the complete structure, drop table, table name. These commands you have to, memorize like anything. Okay, without these, the data manipulation, it is not possible. So these commands you have to memorize like anything, and you have to do the rigorous practice in order to become, in order to gain some expert level in this particular thing. Okay, you have to do the rigorous practice. So that is the reason why I have given the full clarity on the installation and other stuff. Okay, in with a minimum of 2 GB RAM and with a minimum of i4 processor, this Pentium 4 processor also you are having, even in that computer also you can install that Oracle 10G, Oracle 10G XE, because many times I'm seeing messages on my WhatsApp, in my personal, on my personal, that many people are asking, many students they are asking, so what is the minimum requirement to install that Oracle? There is no minimum requirement. So I don't think any outdated like P3 P2 pieces still they are running with Windows XP and all. So I'm considering all the PCs, all the students they are having PCs running with Windows 7 and if you are buying a new laptop, definitely you will have Windows 10 into that one. No, there is that is for sure, no doubt in that. Uh, but if you have an outdated version of a laptop, an old laptop, minimum is Windows 7. Okay, minimum is Windows 7, and even if you have Windows XP, don't you bother. You can install the Windows XP version of that Oracle 10XE by simply downloading the suitable version from the internet. Just type Oracle 10G XE for Windows XP, like that you type. Okay, Oracle 10G XE for Windows XP. Then download the proper version from the internet and you can install it into your Windows XP operating system. For Windows 7 and Windows 10, whatever installation procedure I have shown, that same thing will work. No difference in that one. Okay, so just download the proper application and install into your complete computer and do the formatting as I have shown. Do the formatting as I have shown. That is more than enough. That is more than enough to practice all these commands. So far, create, describe and drop, three commands we have discussed. So our next command, the select command. Select command, many times we practiced. You can select all the fields from the table, or you can select only the respective fields, like if you want only the ID, or if you want only the what we call name, salary, likewise you can select that also. So to practice the select command, before we have to see the insert command. Okay, insert command, it is having two different formats. Okay, for now we are discussing two different formats. In future we discuss other formats also. That is the reason why I'm not saying only two. I'm not saying only two, but here for our consideration we are having two different insert commands. See, and I suggest all the students to make the notes. Whatever commands I'm practicing and whatever information I'm giving along with the command, try to note it down in your running notes. Okay, definitely it will help you. If you are CSE and IT, Believe me, you are going to face many issues if you don't attend this add-on course. Believe me. See, if other branches also, many times I'm giving, I mean, I can say in every class I'm warning you people, if you want to go for, if you want to compete for IT jobs, see, definitely you need this knowledge. Definitely. Because of course, CSC and IT people at some point of in their academics, they will study. Okay. To boost their knowledge to a higher level, definitely this add-on course will help not only to other branches but also to IT and CSC people. But for other branches, nowhere you are going to see such add-on courses. So if you practice, if you attend, and if you complete the assessment at this stage, I mean, believe me, the college management, they are planning, I mean, those who are good in this particular course, they are planning to give some motivation, a kind of reward or something, so that you can go for certifications into this program. And that certification, irrespective to the branches, not only to CSC and IT, but also for mechanical, civil, triple E, EC, everybody can participate into that certification. And this certification, if you get from Oracle, it is going to benefit you, it is going to help you a lot when you face interviews in the market. Okay, IT sector interviews in the market. So that is the reason why, pay the attention, have some effort, show some interest, and try to complete this course. Okay, so at the final level, when we do the assessment, based on that assessment, they are planning to give, I mean, the students, those who are performing well, are the students, those who are good in these basics, they are planning to give some more brush up kind of training to them, and they want those students to complete a certification on Oracle. And we have a membership at college level for Oracle certification program. Definitely you will get some kind of scholarship from the management, and so that you can easily go, I mean, already they are doing, as you might have seen, for the second years and for the third years, different banners they are, I mean, they have what we call advertised in the college premises. There you can see that they are giving discounts on the certification programs. Okay, so the same thing they are planning for you people also. But when you come to the second semester, or when you come to the third semester, at that level they will give some more brush up kind of thing on all these basics, and they will make you ready for that certification programs. So don't think that we are wasting your time, or you guys, by attending this add-on course, you guys are wasting the time. It is not like that. Okay, so simply we'll go to this insert command. Insert command, it is of two types. One way to insert a single row, or another way to insert multiple rows. So this format, what I am showing on the slide, it is to insert only a single row into the table. If you want to insert only a single row, only a single record, if you want to create inside the table, this command you have to follow. Insert into table name, followed by the fields and followed by the values. Okay, followed by the fields and followed by the values. And if you are doing the insertion for all the fields, no need to put the fields over here. Okay, you can skip this fields area if you are inserting values for all the fields. Let us assume inside your table, that's why the terminology is very important. Inside your table, if you have like 4 fields, just now inside our employee table we are having 4 fields, and if you are doing the data entry for all 4 fields, okay, not even a single field you are missing, not even a single field you are skipping, at that point, inside this command, insert into command, you can skip this area, you can skip this particular thing, and you can write directly insert into table name, values followed by the values. 4 values you have to provide. You cannot skip even a single value when you are doing like that. You cannot skip even a single value when you are doing like that. But if you want to insert only a single field, or only 2-3 fields, likewise, I mean selected number of fields, then you have to specify what fields entry you are doing. That also you have to specify over here. Okay, so all 3 formats, or all multiple formats we see, so we will discuss with practice. Okay, so the next thing, insert into command without fields. So this is without fields. As you can see, the fields area I'm skipping over here, there is no fields. And there is another one, insert command for multiple record entry. Okay, for multiple record insertion, insert command for multiple record insertion, like this you can do. So one by one we see. So first we see insert into command with field names. Okay, with field names, insert into command with field names. So it is very simple what you have to do. Yes, I want to insert into the table employee, and all these details I want to insert. So let us say I'm doing one entry. Say write down these commands. Okay, whatever I'm typing over here, write down. Know where you find these commands. So just based on the situation and based on the discussion, I'm framing those queries. Okay, so how come we can frame that one? Insert into followed by the table name, that is emp, and followed by we have to specify the fields over here. Okay, so let us say what are my fields? Eid comma ename comma eage comma esal. I want to insert all these things. Values, what values I want to insert into that one. So eid, again whatever I have created I have dropped, right? So 1001, then name is let us say this one, and then e age is let us say this one, and e salary is let us say this one. So then close this one and put the semicolon at the end. Okay, now hit the enter key. See, one row created. So another row I want to create. So at that point there is no way, once again I have to repeat the same command, isn't it? So insert into emp of, let us assume at this point I want to I want to insert a particular employee details whose age I don't know. I don't know what age that person is having. So simply I want to leave that age blank. I want to skip that entry. I don't want to enter age. So what I have to do? Then EID, ENAME, ESAL. I'm not entering the EH. I'm skipping that one. So now you provide the values of 1002. Then person name is John. Then age I can't enter because I have not specified in the fields. So now enter the salary, that is 27,000. So like this, now you put the semicolon at the end and hit the enter key, another row got created. So now how can we see? How can we see all the entries from my table? How can we see all the entries from my table? In the sense, the select command I have to use. Select star from emp to select all entries. Okay, to retrieve all entries, select star from table name employee. Okay, now you hit the enter key. See, it is showing 1001 employee details. Okay, and name is this one, age is this much, and salary is this much. But when it is showing 1002, as we have entered only 1, 2, 3, we have not entered the age. As you can see here, EID, ENAME, and ESalary only we have entered. So it is showing only those details. It is not showing the full details. Hopefully you understood this one. Okay, it is not showing the full details. Okay, so now the next thing, yeah, what we were having inside my slide. Okay, this thing we discussed. Okay, so if I want to enter only two things, okay, EID and ENAME, let us say salary also I don't know. We will assume in that way. Salary also we don't know. So how we can some uh, insert into employee. Okay, then EID comma ENAME. I want to insert. I don't know the salary as well. So values of let us say 1003, and the person's name is some Robert, like this. Okay, then you put semicolon at the end. Now you hit the enter key. See, another row got created. Another row got created, and how that row got created, simply to check emp. See this one. The last person 1003 Robert, only the ID and name we were having. E-age and E-salary we are not having. So as I said, whenever we are doing the full entry, okay, full column entry, all columns we are providing the values. At that point, what you can do, you can skip that field's specification. Whatever field specifications over here we are doing, like this field's specification you can skip if you are doing the full entry. Okay, like this, if you are doing here, what we are doing, we are entering all the details like EID, ENAME, EAGE, and ESalary. We are entering full details. So at that point, you can simply skip this part. So that I will show you. Here we have that slide. See, you are not seeing any fields over here. Table name. Here we have table name followed by the fields, but here we are not having any fields. Any fields it is not showing over here. So the reason, as he's doing the full entry of all the values. Okay, so fields missing, as he's doing the full entry of all the values, he's missing that fields over here. Okay, fields over here. So quickly go and do that practice. So same thing, insert into emp space values of, okay, 1004, and the person's name is like some Vinod. Then the person's age we have to enter, that is 45, and salary we have to enter like 18,000 I have given. So at the end you put the semicolon and hit the enter key. See, one row got created. Without fields I have created one row. Now you go and select star from employee. So like this you can see the last entry 1004 entry as well. Okay, so the next thing, yes, create another entry using this without field query. So insert into employee values of 1005 comma, and the person's name is I'm taking some Albert. Okay, Albert. Then age is, let us say, some 38 years, and salary, let us say, some 45,000. Okay, then you put the semicolon at the end and hit the enter key. See, one another row got created without any fields. Another row have created. So select star from employee. I'm just typing the commands again and again so that it will become a practice to you people. Okay, so now you can see 1005 Albert, and 38 is his age, and e-salary 45,000 we have entered into the database. Okay, so this database creation we have done. So the next thing, yeah, go to your slide and see what we have. Yeah, inserting multiple records. Okay, inserting multiple records without without typing the command again and again. Inserting multiple records without typing the command again and again. See, over here, whenever I am doing the record entry into the database, into the table, again and again, and I'm typing that insert into employee, insert into employee. Likewise, I am typing the same command repeatedly. So you can avoid that repetition. Okay, you can avoid that repetition by simply using this formula or this command. Insert into table name, followed by, yeah, here also you have to input all the fields. Okay, all the fields. So insert into table name, followed by values. Okay, insert into, followed by table name, values of, for every field you have to put that ampersand symbol. Here we are not giving the values, actual values, but we are giving the field names followed by, preceded by ampersand symbol. So I will show you how come it is. So this thing, once again, you have a verification over here. Insert into, followed by the table name, then values, inside parenthesis we are giving the field names preceded by ampersand symbol. Preceded by ampersand symbol. Prefixed by ampersand symbol. That you can remember. Now you go to your command prompt. Same thing you type. Insert into emp, values of ampersand eid. First you describe the table so that you will come to know what numbers we have and what varchars we have. Because if it is a varchar, if it is a string entry, then we have to use these single quotations. So describe the table. Describe table name employee. So here it is listing the description about the table. So EID of type number. So no need to use the single quotation. But whereas ename, it is having varchar 2. It is a string. So we have to use quotations. Then EH, it is also number. Then ESAL, it is also number. Okay, only to varchar 2 we have to use single quotations. So that one I am showing you. Insert into table name employee values of ampersand EID, because it is number data type. Then use single quotations over here, ampersand ename, because it is a, why we are using ampersand ename in the sense inside single quotations, in the sense because it is a varchar 2. It is a string. So then EH don't use any single quotations because it is a number EH. Then again ampersand e-salary, because it is also a numerical value. Then close the parenthesis and put the semicolon at the end. Now you see when I press the enter key, how the command line interface will respond. It is very, very important. Okay, it is very, very important. Just see that command once again. Here we are doing multiple record entry without retyping the command again and again, without repeating the command again and again. Simply one shot I'm writing the command and I will do multiple records entry. Just see this one. Already we have entered like up to 105. For every entry, for every record entry into the database or into the table, I have I have written one insert into command. But over here using this single command, I will do another 4 or 5 records entry into this table. Just see that one. So now hit the enter key. When you hit the enter key, what it will, how the command line interface responds, just see. So see, it is asking for EID entry. Enter value for EID, like this. It is like an interactive interface. It is asking the user to respond. So now I'm entering the EID like 1006 because already we have 1005. So then hit the enter key. It is asking for E name. Okay, name I'm giving like Michael. Okay, so name I have given like Michael. Then again hit the enter key. It is asking for age. What is Michael's age? So I'm giving like let us say 39 years. Then hit the enter key. Now it is asking the salary of Michael. So I'm giving the salary like 39,000. 39,000. So when I'm hitting the enter key, see, one row created. One row created. It has created one row. So now don't type any other command because we are doing multiple record entry. Okay, don't type any other command. Simply type this. We call this as forward slash. We call this as forward slash. Simply type forward slash. Don't type the entire command once again. Simply type forward slash. So what this forward slash will do means it will repeat the same. It will repeat the command which is typed just before. Just before whatever command you have typed. The last command whatever you have typed, that command will get repeated over here. That command will get repeated. To repeat the last command what we have typed, we use this forward slash. So just use this forward slash to repeat the last command. What last command we typed? This is my last command what I have typed. So it will repeat this command. Okay, it will repeat this command. So now you see when I hit the enter key, again it will ask you to enter the employee ID. See, when I'm hitting the enter key, it is asking me to enter the input the EID, employee ID. So 1006 already over. So 1007 I am entering. Okay, again it is asking the name. I'm giving the name. Then it is asking age. So I'm giving age. Then it is asking salary. Then I'm entering the salary. So like this. So now you hit the enter key. It will create another record, another row created. Okay, one more row created. Now use the same one and hit the enter key. Once again it is asking 1008. Okay, the person's name. Again it is asking age. So age is like, let us say 48. Okay, salary it is asking 42,000. So like this. So one more record. Okay, hit the enter key. So 1009. Okay, then it is asking person's name. Okay, some ABC, person's name. Then it is asking age. Okay, some 65 years. Salary it is asking some 60,000. Okay, so like this another row got created. So I have created up to 1010. Okay, I want to create another. Okay, just type the forward slash, then 1010. Okay, e name it is asking, so XYZ. Then e age it is asking, so some 47 years. Salary it is asking 45,000. Hit the enter key. Now 10 rows I have created, 5 with individual commands and 5 with single entry. Okay, single command entry, just by repeating the same command by using this forward slash. Hope you understood how we are doing the entries. Now you go and see how many records you have created into your table employee. See, these many records we have created. 10 records we have created into our table. Okay, into our table. Okay, so in this way you can remember insert command. It is having 3 different formats: one with fields, one without fields, and one one time command typing and multiple record entry. So we call it as multiple record entry, using insert into multiple record entry, using insert into with fields, using insert into without fields, and using insert into for multiple record entry. So like this you can remember these three different formats of your insert into command. Okay, insert into command. See here I have given that statement also. To repeat the last query, use forward slash, use forward slash. So here I have given the complete command, and here I have given the syntax for using this command. Okay, syntax for using insert into for multiple record entry, everything we discussed. Okay, so select command, once we go there and see, selecting individual fields and selecting the all fields. So here how many fields I have? I have 4 fields: EID, ENAME, EAGE, ESalary. Selecting individual fields we can use select command. Selecting all the fields we can use, or selecting multiple fields also we can use. Let us assume I want to select only EID. So select EID from employee. See how easy it is writing the code inside your SQL. Select EID from employee. Hit the enter key. It will list you only EID. Okay, it will give you only EID. Now select ename from employee. Ename from employee. It is giving only ename. Select EH from employee. It will give only EH. Select ESalary from employee. It will give only ESalary. Okay, it will give only ESalary. Then select uh, multiple fields. How we can select ename comma esal from employee. It will give you multiple fields. Select EID comma esal sal from employee. Two records we are, two fields we are selecting. Select EID comma ename comma esal. Likewise, all these are visualization techniques. Okay, from employee I have not written. From employee. So it will list all three. So like this. Like this you can do the selection from for different fields. Row wise selection also we can do. That we will do after where class discussion. There is a class like where class in SQL. After once we discuss that where class, you will be able to select the data row wise. Now we have already discussed how we can select the data column wise, isn't it? Columns, individual column, multiple column, or all the column, how we can print, I mean how we can display from a table that we have discussed using this select command and giving the field names. But to select the rows, individual rows, based on the constraint, based on the condition, let us say I want to select the employee details whose salary is like 25,000 whose salary, excuse me, whose salary is like 25,000. To know that particular employee from my table, what I have to do, I have to put some constraint, I have to put some condition, that we will see. Okay, so now you go to the, yeah, this all these things we discussed. Yeah, selecting all the fields, select EID comma ename comma esal comma EH from employee. See the order, how I am typing, in that same order it will display. In that same order it will display. Actual table, it is having first EID, then ename, then EH, finally it is having ESalary. So the order what I am taking over there, in that same order it will display the content. So let us say first I want EH, then I want EID, then I want ESAL, then I want ename, likewise. So that type of manipulation also you can do. Select ename, first I said EH, then EID, then ename, then ESAL, okay, from employee. Okay, like this. So same format you will get. See, first it is displaying EH, then EID, then ename, then ESAL. Okay, let us assume if I want to repeat the EID at the beginning as well as at the end. I want to put the EID at the beginning as well as at the end also. So select EID comma ename comma EH comma ESalary, ESalary comma again EID from employee. So twice I am selecting EID. See, like this you will get EID at the beginning also I am getting, and at the end also I am getting. So in this way you can format the data. Okay, data formatting, you can, I mean, you can do in this way. Okay, so all these things you have to remember. So yeah, this is about select command, and we have many more to discuss about this select command. When it comes in our discussion, we'll do more practice about it. Okay, so the next thing is insert command. We discussed all this, we discussed. Then commit and rollback, these two are very 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 important commands inside your SQL. So commit and rollback are performed on transactions. So whatever activity we are doing, whatever command typing we are doing on those commands, it is something like if you have done some editing into your SQL and you into your Word document, and if you forgot to save that file, then what will happen? The editing whatever you have done, that will be lost, isn't it? That will be lost. So this commit and rollback, these two commands, they are used to save the editing, whatever editing so far you have done, to save that editing permanently. We use this commit and rollback. Okay, commit and rollback. A transaction is the smallest unit of work that is performed against a database. So whatever work you are performing, like selecting some data, updating, inserting, all those things are your smallest unit of works, and we call them as transactions. So it is a sequence of instructions in a logical order. So when it comes to your PL/SQL programming or procedural programming that we do at advanced SQL level, over there we will create transactions. So inside a transaction, what we do, we put multiple queries. We join multiple queries together to form a single transaction. Okay, so over there you will understand much about this transaction. So for now, you simply remember a transaction is a lightweight job. Okay, a smallest unit of work that is being performed by the database. Okay, a transaction can be performed manually by the programmer, or it can be triggered using an automated program. So if you have a program stored inside your computer by the developers, and if you are running that program, it will initiate a transaction. Or if yourself, you as a user, if you're typing some command into the SQL command line interface, that will also initiate a kind of transaction inside your database. So generation of a transaction, it can be done in two different ways. We can do it manually, or you can trigger an automated program from the developers what we call developers table or developers database, that also initiates a kind of transaction into your environment. So commit and rollback, what I said, whatever work we are doing, so not to make that work as a temporary thing, but to make that work as a permanent thing, we use commit. So now I have done some 10 records entry into my table. If something goes fishy, right, at this stage, if something goes fishy and my computer will crash, or the power goes down and my computer will shut down automatically without giving proper time to save my stuff, then what will happen? I will lose all these 10 entries because I have not saved them. They are in, I mean, they are entered into the database, but they have to be permanent. Still they are in random access memory only. They are not stored into your hard disk, hard drive. So that is the reason why whatever entry I have done, that is temporary. I will show you by doing this what we call, by practicing this rollback and commit commands, I will show you how this commit and rollback will work. So go and see the next slide, that is commit command. Commit in the SQL, commit is the SQL command that is used for storing changes performed by a transaction. So whatever changes a transaction, that is nothing but the work initiated by us is doing, to save that permanently, we use commit command. So when a commit command is issued, it saves all the changes since the last commit. I mean, whatever commit you have done at one point of time, so from there onwards, I mean, before that commit, all the data is saved, but after that commit, all the data is permanent. So again, after the commit, you have done some more changes. So in order to save these some more changes, what you have to do, again, you have to press the commit. Again, you have to type the commit command so as to save the complete work permanently. So as to save the complete work permanently, isn't it? So generally what the commit will do, before, I mean, after the last rollback and after the last commit, whatever data, temporary data we are having, that temporary data will be saved when you are typing the commit. So that to understand, let us say I have done some 10 records entry at this point. So what I am doing, I have done 10 records entry. Okay, so if you are not typing commit, it will be temporary. and if your computer goes down, if your computer will crash, all that data will be lost, isn't it? All this data will be lost. To avoid that losing of data, what we are doing, we are typing commit. Simply you have to type this commit. As you can see the syntax, there is nothing, you have to type commit only, commit, commit. So if you type commit and semicolon and hit the enter key, then what will happen? These 10 records will be saved permanently. These 10 records will be saved permanently. So again, after this commit, let us assume that you have done some 5 records entry. 5 records entry. Okay, you have done some 5 records entry. Still it is temporary because we have not typed any commit. So you have done some 5 records entry and it is temporary, and you thought that at some point of some people came to you and told you that whatever data entry you have done, that is not correct, that is inaccurate, we have to do some changes. Then immediately what you have to do, you should not save this one and you have to delete this one, isn't it? You have to delete this one. Then what you have to do, you just type rollback. You just type rollback. So rollback, what it will do, whatever temporary data after this commit, before this commit everything is permanent. After this commit, whatever temporary data you have, that data will be deleted when you type this rollback command. When you type this rollback, whatever it will do, whatever temporary data after the last commit we are having, all that will be deleted. All that will be deleted. Again, you have, after this rollback, what you have done, again you have done 3 more records entry, and you confirmed that this entry is permanent. So 3 records entry you have done, and you confirmed that this entry is the actual entry. So what you do, you simply type commit. Simply type commit and hit the enter key. Hit the enter key. So what will happen? These 3 records will also get saved. So now how many records we saved permanently? These 10 records we saved permanently, and these 3 records we have saved permanently. This 5 we stored temporarily, and using this rollback we have deleted. Hope you understood the usage of rollback as well. If you are not, just go back to the video and once again you watch the video so that you will get the clarity. Okay. So rollback is the SQL command that is used for reverting changes. So whatever changes you have done, those are unsaved, you can revert that changes simply by typing this rollback. So once saved, you cannot roll back. Once saved, you cannot roll back that one. So once committed, you cannot roll back. So when rollback command is issued, it reverts all the changes since the last commit or rollback it is saying. Since the last commit. Because before that commit, everything is saved. Isn't it? Before that commit, everything was saved. So after the commit, whatever temporary data you have, that data you can roll back, you can revert simply by you making use of this rollback command. Hope you understood. So rollback to use, the command is very simple. Simply you have to type rollback. That's it. Rollback you have to type. So these things we practice over here. So the 10 records entry, I don't want to delete this entry. I want this entry to be permanent. So I will type simply commit, commit, and at the end you put the semicolon and hit the enter key. So now my data is saved permanently into the database. So even if something goes wrong, even if I close my command prompt, nothing will change. Okay, now select star from table employee, you type and hit the enter key. It is listing all my commands. It is, I mean, all my records. It is listing all my records into the table. So, and they are committed. They are permanently saved. So now I am simply, just to check, I am closing this one. Or we can type rollback also, isn't it? Simply type rollback. So by doing rollback, what I am saying, delete my temporary content, and I don't have anything in temporary, all things I have saved. So hit the enter key. So rollback complete, even though it will show rollback complete, but it will not delete that one. As you can see, select star from emp, and it is those 10 records, they are permanently saved inside your table. Okay, so now you close this one, and again just to check, open that one back. So now SQL, yes, this run SQL command. So it got opened. Okay, so I have to open it from the desktop because whatever changes I have done to the desktop version only I have done. So here I have to open this so that you will get some big screen. Okay, I mean big text. So now you just select star from table name is employee and hit the enter key. Yeah, not connected. We have to connect because database abruptly it got closed. Again, we have to connect to the user. So how come? Simply type connect. I said, I told you that even you can type CONN. So it will ask you to enter the username. So my username ISL CSC001. Hit the enter key and password you type ISL CSC001. We got connected now. So now you can type select star from uh, table name. Table name is EMP and semicolon at the end and hit the enter key. Unknown command beginning select. Okay, select G typed. So this G we have to remove. Okay, hit the enter key. See, these 10 lines it is showing, 10 records it is showing into my table. Okay, so now to practice this commit and rollback more, I will show you how this rollback will delete the uncommitted data, not committed data. So I'm creating insert into table name is employee, insert into employee values of give some value 1100. Okay, we'll start from 1100 and we'll delete it. So delete 1. So we are creating this user just to delete. I mean, we are creating this employee record just to delete. So we have to give in single quotations because it is a string. Okay, single quotations. Then age, age some 34 I'm giving. Then salary some 43,000 I'm giving, something like this I'm giving. Then put the semicolon at the end and hit the enter key. One record created. It will be viewed inside your table, you can see, but it is not permanent. Okay, employee. See, you can see the del one. I'm inserting another record. So insert into employee some 1101. Okay, 1101 and the 2 is del 2 is my 35 is the okay, then 4092 like this 40,924 something salary. Okay, then hit the enter key, another record got created. So just select star from EMP. As you can see, it is showing that, I mean, up to 10-11 entries it will show inside a single frame, and when it goes to one more entry, I mean more than the expected entry, it is creating another frame. Don't think that it is creating another table. When you see like this, don't think that it is creating another table. It is also a part of that table only. It is just repeating the heading. Table heading, it is just repeating. Okay, so as to avoid the confusion, what is ename, what is EID, so as to avoid the confusion, what it is doing, it is just creating another frame. We can call it as a frame. Okay, so the next thing, I try to insert one more. Okay, so 11,003, sorry, 11,002, 11,002 and delete 2. Age some 40 I'm taking, salary some 43,909. So like this, another row got created. So now once again you select star from EMP, it is showing up to 13 rows. So now what I do, I won't commit the last 3. I mean, we have committed up to 1010. The last 3 rows, what we have created, last 3 records what we have created, I have not saved. So what I do, I will type rollback. Rollback, what it will do, from the last commit, whatever you have, whatever entry you have, that entry will be reverted, isn't it? That entries will be reverted. So rollback, hint entry, rollback completed. Again, you check what entries you have inside the table. Select star from EMP. See, you are getting only 10 entries. Those 3 entries, those unsaved 3 entries, they got rollbacked. They got rollbacked. Hopefully you understood. So once again, I am doing that entry. Okay, this entry as well as this entry as well as this 11,000 entry. So 3 entries we have created. Once again, I have created. So now select star from employee and assume that because of some reason it is showing now 13 entries. As you can see, it is showing 13 entries. Now I'm not typing either commit or either rollback. I'm not typing any of these two. Simply what I am doing, I'm considering that my system is crashing. So when the system will crash, what will happen? My application will be closed abruptly. isn't it? My application will be closed abruptly. The same thing I'm doing. I'm simply closing my application. So my application got closed now. Okay, without prior intimation, my application got closed now. So what I have to do again, you go, you open the command prompt and try to connect to that uh, username, as we said. What is the username? ISL, sorry, ISL CSC 001. Okay, then password ISL CSC 001 and hit the enter key. Now we are connected. Now you try to select star from EMP table. It is showing 10 entries only. It is not showing that 3 records, whatever we have created excessly. Okay, it is not showing those 3 records. Hopefully you understood how this what we call this rollback and commit commands will work into your table. Hopefully you understood. Okay, so for today that's it up to this select and rollback commands, and I request all of you to practice this command rigorously. You brush up this basics so that you will remember these things forever, because many times in many subjects we use these things. Like if you go for your website development, web application development, definitely at the back end we need to have a database. So without the database, where you are going to store the users details, isn't it? Suppose assume that you are developing a social networking website, Facebook website. Okay, so if I mean, social networking website, definitely it needs to have different users, isn't it? So for every user, before getting the account, you have to do the registration. So when the user is doing registration, he will give his details on that registration form. So at some place, definitely you have to store that registration details, so as when the user opens his account, he can see those details, isn't it? So without saving, I mean saving, definitely we need a file, we need a backup, we need a database, something. So that database to manipulate, we need this type of SQL, structured query language. We need the knowledge of structured query language. Okay, so at the back end, whatever HTML you are doing, that at the front end we are doing. At the back end, we need a database. And that database is something like your database management system. And to play with that database management system, you need to have the knowledge of SQL, structured query language. Hopefully you understood. So with this information to you, I'm concluding today's session, and I request all of you to practice. Okay, and I will be giving one assignment with this video, and I'm assuming that you people will do the required things to get the proper assessment, hopefully. Thank you very much, students.